Hi everybody. We've got over 60 laying hens and now have around 9 turkeys, and me and the family spend less than 20 minutes a week on physical coop work. The whole thing runs itself. We have an automatic door, a smart camera, an automated water spigot, and bulk feeding that I fill up maybe twice a month or less. We converted a big heavy-duty wooden 8-foot by 8-foot backyard storage shed into a fully automated poultry setup. So let me walk you through exactly how we did it. We found a used shed on someone's property, and all I needed to do was get a skid steer to load it onto a trailer and bring it to my property and use the skid steer to unload it. So the cost was only a couple $100 for this really nice shed. We quickly learned that we also needed to give the chickens good ventilation. Chickens produce a surprising amount of moisture and ammonia. So we put in a large 2.5-foot by 3-foot window at the back of the coop, opposite the double doors, and we cut dual vents near the roof line, both at the back and right above the door. And we put 1/4-inch steel hardware cloth, not the little chicken wire stuff, but actual hardware cloth. And we have not had any issues with predators to date. Now, my favorite part of the whole build has to be the outside egg collecting door. I did build it in the middle of winter, so I'm particularly proud of that. But I framed out 3 nesting boxes along the back interior wall. Then I cut a hinged hatch right into the exterior siding. To collect eggs, I simply walk up, I flip the hatch, I grab our day's breakfast, and I'm done. It also drops down, which I did for my boys so that they wouldn't forget to close the door, which sometimes happens. Now, for any of this automation to work, you actually need some real utilities run to the coop. Thankfully, when I first set up each of our paddocks, I had the foresight to know we would need water and electricity run to each paddock. So I already had an underground electric cable and a 1-inch PEX pipe water line in each of the paddocks. This last fall, though, I decided to trench an underground dedicated water line directly to the coop itself, since we now knew that's where we were going to have it and it wasn't going anywhere. So with an extension cable and the water going directly to the coop, we had a huge barrel of water that never froze, always available for the chickens all winter long. To date, I think this is the smartest thing I've ever done for these chickens so far. The other piece de resistance is a heavy-duty motorized run door. Now, I did a lot of research on this, and I finally settled on a door called, I think it's called Chicken Run. I can link it in the description if you're interested. It runs on a battery and solar power, so I never have to charge it. It doesn't actually need to be plugged into electricity, and it has a little light sensor on it. Now, you can set this to open at any time you want, but I set it to open at sunrise and to lock about 5 minutes after the sun sets automatically. So I don't have to think about it. I haven't thought about it in years, honestly. It just works. The one thing I'd strongly recommend adding, though, is a small awning over the door frame of that little run door. We had some rain that froze one winter, and then the door got stuck shut, and the chickens were very, very angry about it. So we fixed that. We also mounted a solar panel, a security camera right inside the coop. So just make sure to turn off the motion alerts, because alerting all night that chickens are moving is really annoying. But it's so nice in the dead of winter to be able to pull up that camera and make sure the coop door is open each morning and closed each night, and that everybody has what they need, feed, water, all that stuff. Feeding 60+ birds 1 bag of feed at a time gets old really fast. So I take all of that feed and I put it into a 50-gallon drum that I have cut out with 4-inch PVC pipes, little holes that have these 90-degree angle elbows in them, so that the elbow goes into the bottom of that little drum, and the birds can come up to it, and as they eat, it just slowly falls down into those little holes, and they have constant feed for as long as that food lasts. Water is honestly where most chicken setups start to have issues, especially in winter. And here's how we handle both seasons. So next to the coop, we have a pressurized underground pipeline directly into the utility water line that connects to a frost-proof spigot. so we can use it all winter without it bursting, and it never gets frozen. The birds drink from the horizontal poultry nipples that thread into a large 45 or 50 gallon food-grade plastic drum. The water stays just outside the run door, so it's easy to access and it never gets dirty from bedding or droppings. I have this big, huge heating element that I drop in there. I plug it into our electricity and it heats. Every time it drops below 35 degrees, it kicks on the heat. If it gets even colder, it actually heats it even more. So it uses more power based on what you need. Last winter, I was shocked at how well this drum with the heating element in it worked. I went out each morning and just checked that the water nipples were still flowing, and with that heating element inside, it worked perfectly, even in single-digit temperatures. Now for summer, we branched the line out to a low-profile bowl waterer. You can find these online as well, and I'll link all that too. But it's just a little bowl, but it has an autofill feature on it, so it automatically fills whenever the water gets too low. So finally, the run itself. Our solution was building this huge run space that I have put 6-foot climb-free fencing all around, and it goes all the way down to the ground. The birds can forage, they can dust bath, they can scratch around, and it's a fully functioning free range, but they're just never actually at risk, which is great. So if you want the dimensions on the nesting box hatch or the specs on the water heating elements or anything, just drop a comment below, and I'm happy to put together a follow-up and let you know what I've done. Also, please like and subscribe if you want to see more builds just like this, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.